What's going on? What's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing today? You've entered Coaches Talk, where we discuss all things college football related, high school related, anything in between, all sports pretty much. I'm your host, Coach Ricks. And before we get started, please hit that like button, hit that red subscribe button, man, ring that bell, man, so you'll catch all the content that I got going forward. Man, today, man, we got a special treat for you guys, man. I decided that I want to try to get with some former coaches and everything and prior coaches and try to give them a little love before the season starts. And today, man, we got somebody, man, special, man, from the 918. The guest we got coming in today, man, is a not only a coach, a father, a mentor, a former D1 player, a sixth grade teacher, a former assistant at Sallisaw Public School, a former secondary coach at Broken Arrow Public School, a former secondary coach at St. Joseph Academy, former running backs coach at Resurrection Christian Cougars, and now the defensive coordinator for the Spiro Bulldogs, the one and only Josh Walker. What's going on, Coach Walker? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right. How you been?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Blessed, man. Glad to get you on here, man. I know you're busy, man, getting ready for Panama, man, here in a few more weeks, man. So I just wanted to have you jump on, man, feel for how the season's gonna go, ask a few questions, man, and try to show some love and shine some light, man, on the Spiral Bulldog this year, man. So how's things going your way?
Well, I appreciate you for having me. Yeah, things are going pretty good so far. Just trying to get everything situated, get the kids up and ready. We got another scrimmage this week on Thursday, and then the following Thursday, we open up the season with Panama at Panama.
Okay, okay. So is the season going the way you wanted to go? Any injuries or anything like that, man, that's gonna have a little setback for you guys?
I mean, any team really has, bumps and bruises always in fall camp before the season starts, but nothing too serious. I think the main thing is just trying to get everybody clued in on what's going on and then get this boat on the road.
I feel you on that, man. Well, like I said, didn't want to keep you too long, man. I just wanted to try to get on here, man. Ask you a few questions, man. Try to get some background on your coaching journey and things like that, man. So we're gonna try to jump in, man. And like I said, feel free, man, to take your time and answer these questions the way you want to answer them, man. My whole point is to show love and get the flowers and everything, man, to the coaches. Being a former and a present coach, man, it's a lot, man, and people don't understand that it takes away from your family, it takes away from so much, man. But you do it, man, because you love it. You want to mentor, you want to show kids the right direction on how to do things, man. So I commend you, man, for doing that. But the
Thank you.
first question that I want to ask you, man, is when you hear all the accomplishments, when I introduce you, what goes through your mind?
Man, not a whole lot goes through my mind. It's just the long road that I took to get where I wanted to be at. Uh, growing up in Fort Coffee, we was always outside. There's not a whole lot of things, like we didn't have a lot of things like the kids have now, like the tablets and
Oh
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So we was always outside. So it just lets me know along how far I came.
Yeah, man. Hey, I feel you on that, man. Like I said, man, I always tell people, man, no matter how high I get, I will always represent the 918. And then I represent the 501, and now I'm representing the 704, man. So I'm gonna always represent 918 first
Yeah.
because that's where I got my start from, man. And watching all the guys before me and that set, Coach Bunch, Coach Blankenship, Coach Garner, all those guys, man, back in the day, man, had some type of form of me becoming the guy and the coach I am right now, man. So I appreciate that.
You had a lot of guys when we were growing up that we all looked up to. That was kind of our father figures, you can say, these
Oh yeah.
coaches. So, you know, I appreciate a lot of things that they did for me and then made me the person who I am today. So it's a lot of love for them.
Oh yeah, man. You got to give those guys love, man, because being a coach, man, it's like I said earlier, man. You're not only a coach, man. You're a father figure, man. You're a priest. You're a minister. You listen to all our
Hmm.
problems, man, and you tell us what to do, what we should do. Our confidant and everything, man. We have struggles. I mean, it's everything, man. So To all the coaches, man, I give y'all love, man, because it's a daunting task, man, to go out there and do what you do.
Yes.
Uh, Next question: when you see, I see you're a middle school teacher, man. How much has it changed in the classroom since you were there as a student?
Oh, it's changed a lot since I remember. It's a lot more. I don't know. The kids now are a lot more outspoken and I would say grown for their age. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like they're way more advanced
yeah,
tech technology wise and like in themselves. Like I don't remember myself like a lot of these kids in sixth grade. I was, more into just the sports, I wanted to play around and things like that. These kids here, whew, they, they make you think about what you're doing.
oh no, man. Like I said, I definitely know what you're talking about, man, because I have to remember that I'm a coach. There are certain things, and then being a teacher, teaching PE. Well, I did PE, and it's daunting, man, when you have to watch what you say now because we live in an age right now, man, to where back in the day you can really say what you want to say,
Yeah,
and you could paddle them back in the day when they got out of line. Now you can't even really say anything to them. So
yeah.
it's a definitely a transition, man, from what it used to be to what it is now. Has that changed the way you coach? By the parameters have changed from then to now.
Uh, I mean, a little bit, but not so much. I
Okay.
think my my style of coaching is I'm pretty upfront and forward with everybody,
Okay.
adults and kids. And I think kids kind of like that about me is because I'm pretty straightforward with them. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't, I tell it how it is. Rather than, you get some people, they'll beat around the bush and tell you, well, it'll be all right, this and this. No. Me, I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is, how I want it. That's how it needs to be done. If it ain't that way, you ain't gonna be in.
Yeah.
And I think most kids appreciate that because there's either a good way or a wrong way, and then they know the results. They know what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
So I think not only that is it helps them on the football field, and I think that helps them in life too, more so because what football teaches you not only about football but discipline,
Yeah.
teach you about life, teamwork, family, communication, all those things. So I think it helps out a lot, especially the way that I do things. That it helps not only mold athletes but mold kids to be better family members, better boyfriends, whatever the case may be, but just a better person in general.
Yeah. No, man, like I said, that's the task, man, that it is now in this day and age of being a coach, is that everything has changed. The way it used to be, the screaming and hollering and yelling and the drill sergeant mentality back in those days. Now you can't even say anything. You really can't pressure no one. I mean, my main thing, I want to coach on to God digging my butt
Yeah,
because I'm used to that. I've always thought the harder you are on me, the best I'm going to be because you see something in me that I don't see in myself. So if
right,
you're harder on me, you expect something out of me. So I'm either going to give it to you or you won't play me.
right.
So no, man, I
There's
feel you on that.
you know s you got to pick and choose your kids too. If you're around them long enough, you can kind of
Yeah,
tell what you can do and what you can say to them to push them and then what not to. Because drill sergeant works on some kids,
yeah,
and then there's other kids that ain't gonna fly. They'll shut down super fast, and you won't be able to get nothing out of them. So I think the longer you're around kids, you can kind of pick and choose your battles here and there. But I, I I'm kind of straight, kind of in the middle. Either way, kids are gonna get the best out of me because I'm personable. I bring knowledge from not only athletically, but just street knowledge, things that they
yeah,
don't. really know that'll help them out. So it works out.
No, no, you're right, man. Because a lot of people these days, man, they have the book sense but no common sense. If
Yeah,
that makes sense. If that makes sense,
yeah.
you have this day and age to where they know technology and they know the things that like my granddaughter, man, she can do this thing, Roblox or whatever it is. I have no idea what it is, and she can get on her tablet and do things, man, that I can't even do. And I'm like, dude, you're only 5 years old. How you know
Hmm.
how to do that, but I don't know how to do it. So
Right.
yes, technology, man, has definitely changed the parameter of how things are now, and that's kind of a taunting task, man, because if you're not hooked up to technology and technology also too, we're gonna get on that, technology from a culture side because you have analytics, you have stats, you have things that tell you on third down what you should run, what they might do on second down. If you have second and 10, what's the best call to play or this and that. So that also comes into fact and everything. Back in the day, man, it was always a feel or a gut, or
Yeah.
you just put the ball in somebody's hand and you just pray for the best and
Yeah.
everything. So that's pretty good and everything. Next question, man, we got, man, what is it about Spiral that made you come home to coach?
I would say it's mostly family. Majority of my family is right here. So anytime you can get around family, a good home feeling, it's good. I've been away for a long time. Before
Yeah.
I came back, I was going all over the places. So, you know, so it's good to be back around family. With my moms and my Uncle Mike and all them. So, if anything, if I need anything, they're there to help me out. If I need anything, especially with my kids. So, um,
Support
it's good.
system. Yeah, that old saying, it takes a village to raise a family, and that's what we had back in the day. There was no such thing as everybody was neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
You go anywhere and for coffee and you act up, you get your butt whooped.
Oh yeah, yeah.
then
Your parents gonna find out before you even get home.
then you get home, you get another butt whooping. I mean, I remember one day, man, I took five of them one day, man, but that's a different story. I took five of them and it wasn't pretty, man. My sister got me, then my grandma got me, then my mom got me, then my uncle got me, and then my dad got me when he came home. So trust me,
Well,
man.
yeah.
I know what that is.
Mm-mm.
Um, what is your coaching philosophy, and how has it evolved over time?
Well, I kind of talked about it earlier about how I'm pretty straightforward with the kids. I say I'm personable. There's a fine line, between being a friend and then a coach.
Yeah,
Uh, you don't want to cross over too much over to that friend zone because then the kids think they can just come up to you and talk to you however they would to their other friends and things like that. Um, but the kids here know that I'll do anything for them. If they need anything, come to me. If they need to talk to me about any particular thing, I'll try to help them out. They know even on graduation days, I tell them, hey, be responsible. If you need anything or need any help or need rides, let
say
me
it,
know and I'll
say it.
help you out. I'll
Yeah,
I'll I'll come because one thing about me is that these kids they need to they need to grow. They need to
yeah,
grow and keep on going, living a young, successful life. They don't need, and everybody does makes dumb mistakes here and
yeah,
there, but don't let that mistake in your life or in somebody else's life.
yeah.
So I'll go ahead and chunk that up. Hey, I'll come pick you up, Uber, whatever I need to do. Just call me. Uh, but like I said, as football wise, I'm straightforward with them. Hey, I need this done. This is what's going to happen. If you don't do it, you already know what it is. So,
Yeah,
like I said, I think the kids respond better that way. Well, these particular kids, I'll say,
yeah,
maybe it don't work another way, and then I have to change up. But
yeah.
for right now, these kids respond mostly being straightforward and just telling them exactly how it is and how it's going to be, and then it works out. So,
I think that what it is, man, is that I think, my boy Jason, he's in here, man, from Hall of Fame Sports, man. I think what it is, man, there has to be some type of mutual respect between the coaches and the players. There has to be some type of love, because if you love a player, man, you're willing to do anything you can for them. And it's all about mentorship. We all want to see the kids go on and do great things at the next level. And even if they don't get to the next level, you want them to be successful young men. You want them to
Hmm.
be productive young men. You want them to be, you know, a husband, a father, someone, man, that the society, man, can be proud of. And that also comes from coaching. A lot of
Right.
coaches, man, don't get the respect, don't get the love and the flowers that they need to, man, because some of these athletes are single parent kids, and
Right.
some of them don't have the dad, and that coach is the dad.
Right.
I've had parents call me and say, hey, so and so acting up. I'll call them. Hey, man, you know who I am. You know what's gonna happen. If you don't clear up. But it's hard, man, when you have your own kids and then
Hmm.
you try to be a coach and a parent to somebody else's kids. you know, it's hard, man, because you don't want to alienate your kids, but you also want to be there for them in case they need it and everything. And I have to tell my daughters, man, hey, they don't have what you have. And sometimes, man, it's best to help get those kids and everything, man, on the right street. Because if you're supposed to go left and you go right, you might get to that destination, but it's gonna be a little bit longer than what you would have taken if you had taken left.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of kids that that don't make it to
Oh man.
college football wise.
Fort Coffee
Uh,
has a lot of them, man, that didn't make it that should be
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And man, that breaks my heart because when you go back home, when we go back home and we see these guys and we don't tell them, but it's heartbreaking to see all the accolades and the plaques and the names and the statues and things in Fort Coffee and Spiro, but then they didn't get their break. They didn't get to that
Or they
next
took
level.
the wrong turn. They took the
Yeah,
wrong turn,
yeah.
and
You're
I
right,
think
Jason.
mostly is
You're
that is just because they didn't have
structure and that
that
mental.
structure or the male figure
Yeah,
to kind of get them that way. Like me, I growing up. I mean, obviously, I was around a lot of stuff uh, growing up, but there's a lot of cousins that I had, that was around all that stuff and doing all that stuff. But for me, sports was my only way to get my mind off of all that other stuff.
yeah.
Uh, so I mean, it helped, and then it also helped that my mom's a teacher, so she keeps me
She gonna keep
straight
you
on
in
there in
check.
the line. Yeah, she
she
keep
gonna
me in
Lynn
check.
gonna keep you in check.
But still, when I think about it, though, it was just kind of crazy that I was able to make it out, but a lot of my other cousins around my same age or a little bit older didn't make it out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because of the same stuff. So it just makes me wonder, like, dang, I was able to get out of there by just focusing on certain things. How come they weren't able to? But then as I got older, and you see the cycle going over and over and over and over again, it makes sense.
yeah.
But you don't know, you know how it is, man. It's just some make it, some don't. It's just what you do with the opportunities that you do have and
Yeah.
making the most out of those opportunities.
Man, by you saying that, Josh, man, coach, I tell people, man, down here, and I know she'll probably hear it now on this podcast. But to me, the worst thing that ever happened to me was leaving Fort Coffee. Um, I was me, Mac Chambers, Ryan Franklin, the the three amigos. You saw one, you saw the other ones. And
Hmm.
we were so good in all the sports together and we played together. And then we were getting recognition from colleges, man, even in the ninth grade, because we were so good. We were going up against Brian Country Reeves, big Brian Reeves every year in Gaines, Oklahoma, man. And we would go 35-1 every year and play that big dude, man, and we just could not beat him. But then I leave Fort Coffee, man, and go to Little Rock, and you go from 3A to 7A. That's a
Hmm.
big that's a big gap. That's a big
Yeah.
jump
Yeah.
to where a school of 500 or 300 graduating to a school of 2,000 graduating.
Yeah.
So you get overlooked a little bit, but I was blessed with the skills and blessed with the knowledge. I had both of my parents, man, that really much guided me and like you said, had that structure of you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that, you ain't hanging with that person, you better not go do with that person. So when I got out of school, I didn't have no problems. It was
Right.
either go to college, go to military, come out, do good, and now I look back on my life, man, and I say that might not have been the worst thing. That might have been the best thing for me is to get out of a situation because as I know, every Saturday it's the same old.
Yeah.
Nothing changes, nothing is done. I mean, you just do the same old. So no, yeah, man, I think you're right on that, man. Having that structure and everything in order to get to that next level and to form a mentorship with these players, man. I really commend you on that, man. 'Cause that's a tough one that most coaches don't excel at
Yeah.
on that one. All right, man. We can jump back on these questions because we're getting kind of far left with the emotional stuff and everything, man. But uh, what has been your most significant accomplishment as a coach?
I think mostly is just hearing back from players that I've coached before over as the time passed and hearing them talk about how things are going with them, athletically and just on a personal level. Uh, I've I've had some bad apples and I had some good apples, but to hear from the bad apples at an early stage and then come to now when they've gotten a little bit older and hear that they've been able to change and they're not no longer bad and you know what I mean? They're not
Yeah,
bad anymore. They changed their life, however the case may be. That brings more joy to me than hearing somebody doing really well athletically. Because, like I said, I'm not only just trying to help you get better in sports, but I'm also trying to help you get better as a person in general, based
yeah,
off of the knowledge that I have. So, just hearing the stories and things like that from older players of how they are raising a family, that things are doing good, they got a job, they ain't doing the things that they were doing before, and they're just happy now. That's the most successful you can ever have from a coach, I think.
I got you. I got you. Well, hey, that some there again, most coaches, man, they don't see things the way you see things, and I think being a coach at a little small school, man, you have the arm to reach so many kids, man, because there aren't so many that you
Mhm.
can put your arm around them and say, "Hey, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do that," because those are what Coach Garner and Coach Bunch and Coach Blankenship they did for me back in the day. Is they'll see an athlete, man, that might be hanging around the wrong people or hanging around the wrong crowd, and they'll put you to the side and tell you, "Hey, I don't think you should be doing that," and you have to be uh, um, I call it the yes sir, no ma'am syndrome. You have to understand that that person has your best interests at heart, and they're trying to just give you something to help you out. They're not trying to tell you what to do. They're not trying to be your boss. They just say, I would rather you go this way instead of going that way."
Yeah,
If
like like
that
like we
makes sense.
said earlier, they we see something in them that
They
they
don't see
don't
in
see in
themselves.
themselves, and
Yeah,
maybe other people don't see in them either.
yeah,
So it's little, just a little push. Hey, hey, go a little bit over to this side a little bit. Stay in this lane a little bit.
yeah,
Don't veer off.
yeah.
But it happens.
All right. Being a former player here in Spiro, does it come with a little bit of pressure coming back home as a coach?
I don't think so. Because I know things are a lot different now, uh, especially being a running back. I mean, now everything's spread offense, it's air raid, throwing the ball all over the place. So the running game ain't like it used to be, but it just makes me wonder. This is a little bit off target, like, dang, maybe wonder what would happen if I played quarterback and I wasn't running back and I always had the ball in my hands,
Yeah,
24/7. You
yeah,
know, we might have got a little bit farther than what we have. But
yeah,
as far as success, I don't even look at it like that because I don't let my success because everybody ain't me. They can't do what I did in high school, so I can't expect somebody, one of these kids, to do some of the things that I do. I think that's the hardest part for me is sometimes I look at kids and then especially at like a running back or something like that, and I'm like,
Mhm.
well, why couldn't you just see the cutback right there? Like I was obviously, I was
Yeah,
able to do it, and it's hard for athletes in general when they're coaching to to coach other kids because they're not you. They
yeah.
they can't do the things that you were doing back then. So
Have you ever ran into one of those parents, man, that tries to live their dream through their kids?
oh, it happens all the time,
Hmm.
all the time. From 6A when I was at Broken Arrow all the way down to now, Spiro. It happens all the time. And then
Man,
mostly it's the kids that really don't want to play the sport.
I know, I know, I
They
know,
they they're not even in the sport. Their
man.
parents are forcing them in the sport, and they don't want to play. So it makes it tough on the coaches because I mean the kid already doesn't want to do it anyway. So
Yeah,
you're not going to get a whole lot out of them in the first place, and then they already have a wall up.
yeah.
So it's just you gotta try to do the best you can with those particular kids because it's hard enough for them already uh, from their parents. So it's you just try to do the best you can.
The one time, man, that I ran into that, and I think that's why I stepped away from football. It was getting to me emotionally and physically, to where my wife thought I was gonna have a heart attack because I was stressing out, and I was, I'm full throttle. There ain't no halfway with me. Either I'm going all the way or ain't the way. And I had this coach. I had this, and I ain't gonna say his name. I had this dad that put his son in all these clinics and all these 7-on-7s and all this stuff, man, and everything. And the kid had no admiration to play. He told me, Coach, I don't want to play. Then while you out here, my dad said I gotta play. So I try to go to the dad and say, Dad, man, look, you and I know you put someone out there, man, that's not mentally ready, they can get hurt. They can
Mm,
get hurt, hurt, hurt.
not only
And
themselves, but they're gonna get somebody else hurt.
yeah, well, that dad went to the school board and, came down from the AD. I had to play him. So, not wanting to put that player in because, like you said, I don't care about wins or losses. That's not what I'm really about. My thing is, even if we improve and we make an effort to get to the next level, that's my job because my job is to make it better for the coach that comes after me to make sure they know what the A gap is, the B gap is, what the
Right,
left tackle is going to do, what the left guard's going to do. That's my job. So I don't want a player to get to high school and then he get left behind because I didn't teach him the basic fundamentals or what how to read the defense or who goes where or who does what's the A gap, what's the B gap, all that kind of stuff.
right.
Anyway, put the player out there, man, on kickoff. Next thing I know, man, here come the sideline refs telling me, man, your player out here, man, he can't move. Dude unconscious, had to get smell salt. He didn't even see the hit, blindside hit came, put him on, man, and he was out the whole season, broken collarbone.
Yeah,
And now I'm mad at myself because I knew he wouldn't. I know he should not be out there.
right.
So that's my story, man. To why I
Mhm.
really decided, coaching, man, nowadays, man, just a little bit too harder because it's more politics now than it is about the love of the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's politics everywhere. Some more than other places, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to this other question. What skills and knowledge do you think are most important for a person who wants to be a football coach?
Well, obviously, you gotta have some type of knowledge in football, but I think being able to communicate, having a good communication skills is a major key, and being able to relate to people. I think you can be able to see that a kid. I mean, you've seen it before. You can tell when a kid is something's going on with the
Yeah,
kid mentally.
yeah,
Something going on at home. Something like he ain't all at practice. His body's there, but his
Mind is
Mind
not
is
there.
somewhere else. You can kind of tell that. But being able to communicate and relate to players, I think, is the most major things, is because nowadays these kids have so much, uh, how would I say, other things to worry about now, so much more now than before. uh, with home life, like I said, social media, things going on social media now.
Man, yeah.
Just there's so much things that take your kids' minds away, and they're so focused on everything else nowadays that it makes it even more tougher now compared to, I guess, back when we were in school. It was just so much easier then.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, social media, man, to me, I think right now in school is one of the biggest travesties, man, because some schools let kids use their phones for homework. Back when we
Yeah,
was going to school, you couldn't even have your phone out to save your life. I mean, it was more of you're going to learn this way versus, I guess, the 20th century way now or the new way now, to where they want everything to be looked up out of a book or out of a computer.
yeah.
There is no more investigating in a book. I think the library right now, man, is the most quietest place.
Underused thing.
Yes, yes. I mean, we had a library, man, at one of my schools I coach, man. I walked in there and there was nobody in there. Nobody. And I mean not one single person. But they have homeroom. They got all the computers in there. That thing's packed.
Yeah,
So I'm trying
yeah,
to figure out, it are we trying to get them to see the world in a different way with computers only? Or are we too scared to have them go look in a book and everything? Because I've always been told by a coach, man, if you want to hide something from anybody, put it in the book.
yeah,
They'll never
yeah,
find it because no
yeah.
one wants to go pick a book up.
Right.
No.
And I think that there needs to be a healthy balance between the two, of old ways and a little bit of new ways. You know what I mean? Here and there. Because if you think about it, and this is what my mom was talking about, kids nowadays, their writing skills is terrible because they don't write no more.
Yeah.
Nobody's writing anymore, and kids' reading skills is a little bit off too because no, they're not really reading. Attention spans are a lot smaller now compared to before because of technology. Kids are watching little things, and you can kind of tell by TV commercials now. They're getting shorter and shorter and shorter because people's attention spans
Yeah.
don't last that long. You gotta get it right then. If
Yeah.
you don't hook them right then, they're gone. On to the next thing. So that's kind of how it is teaching wise too. That I kind of found out is book wise, like you only can read maybe like one or two pages, and then you got to help them get them.
On
Take a
something else.
small break. Take a small break. Make them do a question or something like that, and then go to the next page because their attention spans are gone. Gone. They can stay here for a minute, and then next thing you know, they'll be
In the stars.
they're trying to focus on something else. So it's a lot different, like you said,
Wow.
but
Wow.
you got to find a healthy medium in between the two.
Okay. How would your players and staff describe you as a coach?
Well, I would say, like I said before, man, Coach Walker, man, he's
Cutthroat?
straightforward.
Cutthroat?
He, hey, he be on. He don't play around.
You don't he don't play around.
Hey, he for real. But also the players be like, man, Coach Walker, the coolest one that's out here. He be joking around, playing. Like, there's a
Well,
time that I be joking around,
your point
but
to your point, Josh, you the youngest coach. You can relate. That was the one thing that some coaches told me. I can relate to players because not that you get down on their level, but you're the closest to their age. So they
yeah,
look at you different. They look at you as, hey, he the cool coach. I can get, because I'm pretty sure the same kind of music you listen to, they listen to.
yeah, a
Maybe,
bunch. Yeah, there's a couple of them.
maybe.
Yeah, there's a couple
So
of them.
I had to learn. that I had to, in order to get them that attention span to work in my favor, I had to, you know, my basketball girls every Saturday we did yoga. They were like, "Why are you doing yoga?" I ran my programs like I did college when I was in college because I want them to know everything. I'm gonna throw everything at them. We
Hmm.
try to hold back knowledge from these kids because we feel like they're not ready. You throw everything at, I'm gonna throw everything at you, and whatever you retain, you retain. But I'm going to throw everything at you. It's not my job to sit here and say, well, I don't think he or she's ready for that right now. I'm going to throw everything at you. Why are they doing yoga? Flexibility. I do it and everything because I want them to be a team. When you saw one, you saw all 15. There was no three here, four here. I mean, you saw all 15 of girls together.
Right.
And and the I guess you want to say the end result of that is you go 2 years undefeated to where you don't lose to nobody. What did you do, coach? Well, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Many try to duplicate it, but they can't because they don't have the same type of love and the same type of they're not open like you and me and everything. We knew what uh we run barefoot in the country. We were some dogs back in the day.
Yeah.
Now everybody's timid. Everybody's timid. Everybody don't want to do the grunt work, if you want to call it, to get to where they need
Right.
to be. Everything needs to be 707 or go to this AAU thing or go do this. We didn't have AAU growing up.
Yeah.
Yes, Jason, I said yoga. My girls did yoga. Jason, he killing me with all these questions, man, because he's funny with that. But yeah, my girls did yoga. Uh, they play flag football. I try to make them as agile as can be because when you have basketball girls, you need for them to be very agile, and even
Hmm.
boys need them to be very agile. A lot of them boys down here, man, they did yoga, and some of them did. Hate to say it, some of them did ballet.
Yeah. 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 I heard of a couple of them doing that. I know if you go to the bigger schools towards like the city, they have a yoga instructor come in and then have them.
Yeah,
It's all mental,
yeah,
working on your
yeah.
mental, and obviously getting being flexible.
You see Jason up here talking about I'm messing with
Yeah.
you and about Beanie Wiley. Man, he used to kill me with that Lincoln Riley defensive coordinator crowd
Oh,
P90X. Man, don't get me on that, man. I'll be here all day talking about that crazy dude, man. I mean, how can you be a strength coach and your conditioning is a P90 machine instead of weights?
hey, no comment.
And look, hey, you gonna have to. I'm gonna get Jason on one day, man. When I have, I'm gonna try to do these coaches every week, man, from back home because there's so many of them. And I just love, man, getting you guys on here, man, to give you guys y'all's flowers, man, because I think a lot of people don't know that there is not only great players, there's great mentorship, there's great young men that are raising their. I mean, I'll give you just a prime example. Henry Burris used to have Upward Bound up at Langston University. We would go there every summer. He would have a bus load and would take a bunch of Fort Coffee kids up to Langston to get us familiarized with what the college life is, how they do things, what it's going to take, your SAT, your ACT, what do you need from him? Those are the kind of role models that we had back in the day. Now you have all these camps and can you imagine all the talent that came out of Fort Coffee if they had AAU and camps in Fort Smith?
Yeah, it would have been ridiculous because I don't remember even having those whenever I was in school. There might have been a couple that I know of, but nothing too serious. If I knew anything about that, I would have been going.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, well, and like I said, nobody knows and everything, man. Like when I came home for a while, I moved back home. Even me and you, man. We exercise in the summer. We would play flag football.
Yeah,
To try to keep. I mean, everything was always sports, man. We grew up around sports, and my wife is like, when is it gonna be enough? Like I've always told my wife, if I can't play basketball no more, you might as well go ahead and dig my grave now. Well, I don't feel that way no more, but I still play basketball with the younger guys. I still play flag football with the younger guys. I still play co-ed softball. I try to stay active, man, is because that's all I know.
yeah,
Coming from where we come from, that's all we knew. There
yeah,
was no off season. You play basketball and football and everything all year round. There was no off season.
yeah. This is just my way of. I don't play anymore, but this is my way of staying involved in it in some shape or form. Because sports is never gonna leave me. I have it's in some way if I got to referee it. So take my have my kid. My kid's in flag football now, so I have to be involved in it in some shape or form.
Being a parent and coaching, is it and I know the answer to it, but I want the listeners to get your feel for it. Is it a daunting task trying to juggle parenthood and coaching?
I would say so, mostly because of how my job is. Like I said, I got middle school. I deal with middle school kids, and then I deal with high school kids, and then I come home and deal with a 4 year old.
Ooh, you got all three
So
age, you got all
I
three
got
levels.
I got a little of all.
Yeah,
So it
and he's full throttle. He just
yeah,
see
he's
daddy.
full
He don't see
throttle.
anything else.
Yeah, it's daunting and tiring, but I wouldn't change it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't
Yeah,
change it. And that's the good thing about having being back with family. Like I said, that they can watch him since I'm gone all the time anyway. They can
yeah.
watch him, and then when I come home, it's just me and him. So it's stressful, but I wouldn't take it any other way. Honestly, I'm still doing what I like to do, and then I still have my kid who loves me no matter what, and I love him. So
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Uh, I don't think got a few more questions, man. Like I said, if we're going on 45 minutes, and like I said, man, once we start talking about back home, man, it just flows.
yeah,
It's the love, man, and it's the love for you, man, and what you're doing, man, and how I feel about you, man, and that'll never change. And I think people don't understand, man, is that when older men like myself and older people, when we leave the 918 and then we go somewhere else and we excel, I think people forget that we love it so much, man, that we want to always show it love. We always want to be like, that's where I came from. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was tough, it was hard. But I think growing up in Fort Coffee, man, built me for something better. It gave me that tough love that I needed. And like you said, the streets, we were exposed to things at a young age that most people don't get exposed to. But I think that helps us to become better men, to say, that's what I don't want to do. That's what
right,
I don't want my kids to be exposed to. And I think when we do that and we come together and say, hey, there needs to be a change, there needs to be structure. I'm going to be that bridge between my little man and what he's going to be down the road.
right. And I think that is mostly why I became a coach.
Yeah.
Uh, Not only just because to teach kids things that I know now that I didn't know whenever I was in school
Yeah.
coming up. Because most of the time, most people just use their athletic ability. They didn't
Yeah.
know the ins and outs of things
Yeah.
to their particular position or whatever the sport may be.
Yeah.
But not only that, but just coming up and growing up and seeing the things that we saw that most kids don't have to deal with
Yeah.
in Fort Coffee,
Yeah.
especially back then.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I think that was the main thing for me is just to the kids that come out of Fort Coffee now and other kids, I can share information with them on, hey, I've been there, done that. This is what you don't need to do. You
Yeah.
don't need to be around this particular people, this things, like I'm proof. And me and a few others, we were able to get out of there. We
Yeah.
were able to be successful, go to college, play ball, everything like that. There's other ways of getting up out of Fort Coffee rather than a certain particular way.
Yeah.
So I think that was the main thing of just coaching, and not only just coming back to Spiral and coaching, but just coaching in general, because we know so much information based on our background on how we came up. It is very easy to share that information with kids today, like I said, because they go through a lot more
Yeah.
now than what they do than what we have, but it helps them out and being able to relate to them in that certain way. It may not be the same situation, but they are able to piece it together and attach it to themselves to be like, oh, okay, yeah, dang, he is telling the truth. He
He
was
told me
able to
that.
get up out of there. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I think that's why, man, we try to, I don't try to be an advocate for uh trying to get up out of 918 per se. I just try to tell people, man, the honest truth. And sometimes, man, people don't want to hear the truth. They want you to
mm,
sugarcoat it. They want you to put it to a way to where it won't offend somebody. If you're looking for someone that's not going to offend you and that's going to just be the yes man or whatever, I ain't that person. I want everyone from the 918 man to be successful in whatever it may be. And like this podcast, man, somebody been begging me for the longest, man. You need to do a podcast. You need to do a podcast. You know too much. You know too many people. You've done so much. But the fear that some of us have about failing, you know, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fall on my face. I don't want to do this. Well, it can't get no worse than what it is and
right,
everything.
right,
My main thing is just a podcast. If I don't
right,
get no viewers, if I don't get no subscribers, this is just me being genuine and telling life stories. It's not
right,
about, sometimes I do sports. I love doing sports, man. I'm a OU fan till I die. I said, but I've been exposed to Clemson with buddies of mine that goes to Clemson. I've been
right,
exposed to North Carolina with buddies of mine that go to North Carolina. I've been exposed to NC State with female friends of mine and students going to there. I've been exposed to South Carolina. I've been exposed to so much stuff, man. And parents that have come back and said, "Hey, my child wouldn't be where they are without you, and this and this." I want people to understand and listen to you. Do a podcast, and all I can say, man, is that I'm a living proof. You're living proof, and a lot more living proof that the 918 is a. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It is a pool of talent that hasn't really been exposed yet. We talk about the priest homes. We talk about, even with Tyler. We talking about the Lees, the Steels, the Walkers, the
shows,
Verses, the Bunch, the Schultz, the Delts, the Scotts,
yeah,
the Chambers, the Franklins. Dude, you can go. You got every alphabet
yeah,
out there that family dominated and did it. And I'm going to get on this, man. I said I wasn't going to get on it, but I'm going to get on it. I made this list of people that I thought was role models to me and mentors to me that I looked at. It got, dude. I know because you was talking about it before. It went far left. It went far left. Hold on, right quick. Jason said, "How do you get eyes on these undervalued kids?" Coaches generally want to know. Uh, coaches, man, coaches are. I say coaches are pivotal. People, I think teachers and coaches and are vastly undervalued in society right now. Um, People think there's something wrong with being a coach. Nothing wrong with being a coach. You can make a living off being a coach in
right,
these days. But I think being a coach, man, that is humble, being a coach and everything, man, that is passionate about. his craft and his players. I think goes goes more. That means more than the money aspect of it. Is that I want, like you said, I want my players to come back and say, "Hey, coach, I appreciate you for what you did for me, or what you told me worked, or what you did for me helped me." That means more to me than you giving me all this money and praise. Is that when the players come back and show me that they'll appreciate everything I did for them.
Right. Yeah. I think he said what was his question? How did he get eyes on the kids, the undervalued kids?
He said, "How do you get eyes on these undervalued kids?" Coaches generally wanted to know.
I think mostly is just your coaches and everybody else that's around you have to help put you out. Uh, there's a lot of time there's some really good kids, but they never get seen because nobody knows anything about them.
Yeah,
It's kind of like in the NBA or NFL, small market.
yeah.
If you're in a small market, it's hard to get out. So you got to make sure that the coaches and family. I mean, my uncle Michael and all them, they helped me put out film and everything whenever I was in school back in the day. So you gotta. What's up? You want to say hi? You want to say hi, cousin Willie? Say hi.
What's going on, dude? What's going on, young man? How's everything?
He said
Huh?
he's this many.
He's 4.
Yeah.
Well, man, you need to come down here, man, soon because my granddaughter, she just turned 5, and I get y'all be road dogs. Y'all would get along great. Y'all would get along great.
All right, go ahead. Well, he's something else, boy. He is. Whoo.
No,
Once he
no,
get
man.
going, it's tough.
No, man. You know what? Somebody asked me, what's my legacy? And I tell them the truth. My 2 girls. There ain't no sports. There ain't no job, and there ain't no nothing. My legacy is my 2 girls. So,
Yeah, man.
and
Man,
that will always be my answer.
as long as I can bring him up and show him the values and everything, what's right and what not to do, you know what I mean? And he grows up and does well, I am cool based on, our background, you know what I mean? So hopefully it all goes well.
Jason was asked. Oh, Jason was saying, I'm asking you as coaches how to make sure that they get found. Uh,
Oh man,
I
you gotta use your resources. Get them out
Yeah,
there.
you know what, man? I was so adamant about using resources. I was so proud when I first started coaching. I was so proud that I felt like no one can do it the way I want it done. And I didn't go out and get the parents and get the boosters and get, the community involved. Once I got all that involved, everything just took off. And
Right,
I have to understand that same old saying that we had back in the day, it takes a village to raise kids. That is so vital and so true. I had to open up let my guard down and let these parents come in because there are some good parents, then there are some bad parents.
right,
But the good parents outweigh the bad parents. So I think and everything, man, that might answer your question, Jason, man, is that using your resources, man. Don't be proud. Don't stand on some people would say, I'm standing on my square. Don't stand on your square, man. Be open, talk to the community. I had preachers and ministers and coaches from other schools, coming to my clinics and coming to tournaments like, hey man, what are you doing? Why do all these kids cater to you? And I'm like, man, it's just the love for the love I have for the sport, and I don't mind giving my time. Sometimes, man, your time is very important to these kids.
right. Yeah. I think,
But
and you think about it now, also too, is that there's a lot more resources now than before. So with the huddle and everything, these kids can make their own clips
yeah,
of what they're doing athletically. I mean, I remember I had to take stuff from VCR tapes, you know, and
get it.
it was
Go
so
take it.
much harder to do back then compared to now.
Take it to
I
Best
was
Buy and tell them put it on a DVD.
Yeah, I was telling kids the other day. Matter of fact, last week I said, y'all don't know how good y'all have it now compared to when we was in school. Like we didn't have Facebook and all that stuff, or
Yeah,
even social media, Twitter and all that stuff, where they can just hit you up through Twitter. I'm like, I'll watch it on VCR tapes and
yeah,
then have another tape, copy it over. Oh, I want that play. Copy,
yeah.
stop it. You're like, but anything I can do to help out kids and get them wherever they need to go, I'll do it. Cause I mean, I got to use my connections. I got a lot of connections. It don't even matter if you don't want to go D1. I can get you D2. I can get you D3. Even if you ain't trying to get in football, I can get you into a trade school. I know a couple of
Yeah.
people in trade school.
Man, look,
So
people don't understand, Josh, man. A trade is more valuable to me now, just to me, than going to school.
yeah,
Because some people go to school and they don't finish and they have
right,
nothing. They have the, oh, I went to college. A trade is something that will follow you and you will have forever.
right.
That can make you a successful business woman or man, So stop letting people tell you that the WNBA, the NBA, the NFL, and all that is the only ticket. Because I referee AAU games, and if I wanted to travel, I can make a lot of money doing AAU games. But I choose not to because family means more than me and staying home means more than me. So it's not
Right.
about the money for me no more. It's about I want to be able to be close to my granddaughter and my wife and my kids. That's more important to me right now. I done did my things back in the day. It was 35 years ago that I've done those things. I could care less about me being talked about or whatever. I've had
Yeah,
my days.
yeah. I hear you on that, man.
Jason said, "Man, preach this one. The world needs electricians, mechanics. You ain't lying. Matter of fact, I need an electrician right now. To be honest, I need an electrician right now. To be
well,
honest,
I be telling them kids, hey, go to welding school. Hey, they be making a killing. All right, and everybody needs a welder.
I think social media, man, has given these kids false uh, um, implications that you have to be Instagram famous
Yeah,
or you have to be social media famous or you have to, I never understood why you would go on social media. Don't get me wrong, social media, man, is a great outlet to get content and things out. It is a great way to market yourself or market something that you hold dear to you. But I'm just saying, uh, everybody now is scared of hard work.
right.
A lot of these kids right now are scared of hard work. They don't know what hard work is. They're
Man,
looking for the easy way out.
everything's been given.
Yeah, everything's been given. But hey, man, I see little man, he wants some of your time, man. So I'm trying to
Yeah,
get you
I
up out of
know.
here. Try to get you up out of here, man. And then, like I said, I appreciate you, man, hanging with me. I just got two more questions, man. Then I'm gonna get you up out of here, man.
All right.
Last question. Well, second to last question. What does the game of football really mean to you?
Well, it means family and brotherhood. Football, like I told you earlier, it teaches a lot of things, not just sport wise, but it teaches you about life. It teaches you how to be accountable, how to communicate. When things get tough, how do you respond? Uh, right and wrong, and also teach you a little bit of authority.
Yeah,
Uh, so those are my main things about football. Family is the main thing though, because when you think about it, and I played college, and then I played arena, and then I had workouts for pro teams. Most of those people that I have came encounter to during football, and it's in all the teams from growing up, I'm still friends with.
yeah,
Like I'm more friends with them than I am with some of the of my closer or family members. You know what I mean? Like there's a guy, I call him my brother. His name Mark Watson. He coaches college. I've known him since my freshman year in college through the football, and
yeah,
he's my closest friend to the end.
Yeah.
So that's how I take it. Is you meet a lot of people through football and a lot of connections that you would never thought that you would ever have.
Yeah.
So that's what I take it from.
Well, man, I tell people all the time, man, God will always open doors for you, man, when you least expect it. You just got to be ready when those doors open, and don't be scared to walk through those doors. A lot of us, man, we are so scared of even trying to get to that next level. We, like you said, we want everything just given to us. And if you give someone something, they don't have to work. They don't work hard for it. They're not going to They're not going to really appreciate that when they get it, and they might even lose it. And the next thing you know, it's gone. And I
Yeah,
always tell people all the time, man, is that do right by people, do the best you can. My dad used to always say, mean what you say and say what you mean. I never understood what that means until I got older. He said a man's handshake used to be his bond. Now, shake a man's hand, it don't mean nothing,
right.
you know. So, Jason said, love this chat, Coach Riggs. Having a guest like Coach Walker can reach into the hearts of young people. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, man, Jason, man, there are so many coaches, man, like Coach Walker back home, man, that have the passion and the love for the kids, man. And I think that this is why I wanted to do this podcast and bring on coaches like Coach Walker, man. Not only because he's my cousin and family, it's because there's so much love back home and that needs to be put on a broad spectacle. I'm in Charlotte, and this is going to touch everybody from Charlotte to New York. I got people all over, man, here, and then all trickle all the way down to Fort Coffee, Oklahoma, Fort Smith, LSU, Louisville. You know, you name it, it's going to go everywhere. I want to do that, man, is because you never know what door might open for someone by just a simple conversation, a simple chat, a simple sit down with someone, and just to say, hey, let's chop it up. Let's let everybody know where we come from, and then others can do the same thing.
Right, right.
I still remember and love the coaches that affected me. Yeah, I got four of them, man. Like I said, we mentioned Coach Bunch, Coach Blankenship, Coach Garner, and then I had a coach, man, from Fort Smith, Arkansas, man, named Coach McKinney. Man, that dude, man, he told me, he said, we don't play country boys on city teams. He always told me that we don't play country boys on city teams. And then we played in the Coke Classic one time against my former team back in Jacksonville. And one of our guys got in foul trouble. He said, all right, Ricks, you in. I said, Coach, like you don't play country boy. He said, get your ass out there and play ball. Went out there, man, and had the best game of my life. I think I scored 30 points that game, man. And from that point on, he's told me, I guess country boys can play basketball in the big leagues. I'll never forget that, man. That dude just tell me all the time, I don't play country boys, because they're city boys. Everybody thought the
Right.
city boys were better than the country boys. But I always tell people, there's always somebody in the backwoods practicing that's better than you, and you'll never see it coming.
Right? Hey, hey, just like you said, you remember some good ones, you can remember some bad
That,
ones too.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, hey, we both been there, man. Trust me. We both been there, man. Well, hey,
Hey,
I'm gonna get you up out of here, man. I got one more thing for you, man. Let you go with your little son, man. Help me pick four games and tell me why. All right.
okay.
Uh, who you got between Georgia versus Clemson?
Georgia. I got Georgia on that one. Is it at Clemson?
Uh, let me see.
Or it
Let me
might be
see.
a neutral spot since that's the first.
I think it's in a neutral spot. I believe it is. I believe it's in a neutral spot. I believe it is a neutral spot.
I'm still gonna pick Georgia
Okay.
because they got a lot coming back.
Well,
They
man, everybody's thinking that you know Riley's gonna have have the offense a lot, have the offense humming this year with Wesco, the receiver going there. Jason said it's gonna be in Atlanta. It's gonna be in Atlanta. So
okay.
you still
Oh
got
boy.
Georgia?
Yeah, I still got Georgia.
Backyard.
Yeah, still got them Georgia
I
dogs, man.
don't know, man. I think if Dabo can learn to go and get people out of the portal, I mean, I know he don't believe in that, but you're gonna have to eventually.
Hey, he ain't got no choice. Honestly, he ain't got no choice. Everybody's upgrading and getting better, and he's. I mean,
Staying stagnant. He he.
there's a love hate thing between the portal. I mean, because obviously I'm in high school and I still because a lot of kids are getting not recruited because the portal's there in high school. But I see, hey, if you want to win now, you got to get in that portal. So I don't know. I think Clemson is better than what they have been. I just they ain't gonna beat Georgia this year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I think Clemson, man, might. I think Clemson defense, man, might hold them. Hold them for a while and everything, man. To be honest, I think Clemson might because this is the year that Dabo. This is his senior year of all his
Yeah,
players. He didn't go in the portal,
yeah.
so I'm gonna send Jason. Jason said that he'll join us right quick. I'm gonna send Jason and let
I
him
think
join us.
I think it'll be a I think it'll be a good close game. It ain't gonna be no blowout. I think it'll be a close game, and it's probably gonna come to the last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter.
If it's close like that, then I don't know. But I think, man, that if they can just keep the game close, I think, man, that
Mhm.
they might pull it off, man. They
Right.
might pull it off. All right, let me try to get Jason here. The next one, man, is LSU and USC.
Ooh, I
Who you
don't
got
know
on that?
about that because USC is got a fresh quarterback. I'm gonna say LSU.
Okay.
I'm gonna say LSU on that one because I don't know about that quarterback that USC got. And when I think
Well,
about it, USC ain't had no defense in these Lincoln Riley years. I mean,
well,
we can
well,
kind of
they went and got Todd Orlando. Hold on, they went and got Todd Orlando.
yeah
Uh, Jason said he'll jump in for a few minutes and, man, and introduce you guys. I think that Todd Orlando might have USC turn around. I mean, they're not playing any type of high power offenses in the Big 12 in the Big Ten no more. I mean, there's only Ohio State that's a
and
high power offense.
they still got messed with Oregon again though.
Yeah, Oregon's pretty nasty. Oregon's pretty nasty, man. You know, but I just think, man, the LSU, man, they defense is not up to par like it used to be. When you
Yeah,
mentioned LSU back in the day, the defense used to make you just cringe.
right.
Now the defense is so completed, you know, it's just so completed and everything, man. You don't know and everything, man, if they're gonna be good on defense or is the and then the quarterback's gone. So, who
Yeah,
who are you gonna try? I mean, they got all these weapons around them, true, trust me, but I don't know,
yeah. I
so
don't know. This should be the year of USC trying to get back to what they're used to being. I mean, the offense is always going to be fine. It's just that defense is kind of hit and miss. Which, if you think about it, though, in the Pac-12, the defense everybody has to be fast and agile. There ain't really big. In the Big Ten, it's nothing but ground and pound. So they're gonna have to get some big boys in there, real physical, kind of like how the SEC is. Um, Other than all that air raid stuff, because I know like Wisconsin's no good, but they still can run the ball. They gonna line up too tight and just run straight downhill.
well, that's now when you say it like that, that's one thing that Lincoln's gonna have to learn. Lincoln's gonna have to learn. What's going on, Jason, man? What's going on, bud?
What's up, Coach? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. Coach, man. This is Josh Walker, man. It's my cousin, man. He's a defense coordinator, man, at Spiro Bulldogs, man, in Fort Collins, Oklahoma, man.
Hey, man, I'm a Bulldog myself, man. Artesia Bulldog. So, how's it going, Coach Walker? Good to see you.
Man, good. My kid's saying hi too. You can see him in
What's up,
here.
big man? What you doing?
Hey,
Hear that,
hey,
me?
Jason.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, man. I was telling Josh, man, off air, man, like you the guy, man. I'm trying to be like, man, when I get all
Oh,
this
come
said and
on now.
done, man.
Don't start that. 'Cause you gonna butter me up because I'm coming in here to wear you out. You
Okay,
can't be talking about Clemson. What are we
man.
talking
No,
about?
I'm from the East Coast, so
Come on
I'm
now.
exposed to a little bit more. And like I try to tell you, I got a family member, man, who's out there. So I'm
Coach
seeing
Walker was
things,
being nice
man.
to you, Coach. Come on now. He's being nice. They're gonna get rolled up.
Hey, man.
Damn.
Hey, if they get rolled, man, I'll come back on here and
Hey, I
you
lost the
know what,
camera real
man.
quick. I'll be right back.
All right, I'm gonna say, you know what, you were right, I was wrong. I mean, I have no problem saying that, man. But I just feel like Clemson, this is their senior leadership year. All their defensive guys are seniors, and we've seen what they did last time. All their guys had seniors. Yet, Brenton Venables was there. I just still think, man, that the defense and everything is still going to be a little bit better. This is the senior leadership that he has. So that's why I'm saying it. That's the only reason why I'm saying that, Jason.
Yeah, I still ain't buying it. They're going that way. They've been going down, man. They went from 10-2.
Yeah.
I mean, they went from playoffs
Yep.
10-2, 9-3 twice. Now they went 8-4, and we're supposed to believe it's getting better out there. I just don't buy it. I don't know.
And he still ain't hit the portal.
That's right. Talking about when their line was that bad.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think they made a great move, to go and get coach from Georgia, their offensive line coach. It was Matt Luke, right?
Yeah.
To go get Matt Luke was huge. But man, there were guys out there that could have helped them today. I understand that you're trying to bring in guys, through regular recruiting, but that's great. But that's the other thing that's dropped. They were in the top 5 whenever BV was there.
Yeah.
Now they're around 10, 12, 13 and not using the portal. So they're falling further behind. I don't
think
know.
people, man, I don't think they understood, and I think they really understood that how important Brent was when he was there and what he took.
Yeah, you're right.
Taking
Even
Davis,
DJ
man.
said that. DJ used to say he only talked to Coach Venables.
Wow. Yeah, I told you, man, some of those players, man, that Brent was always there. He was accessible. You could get to him anytime, any place, anywhere.
Yeah.
So
No,
Jason, I'm asking you.
by the time after he got there, he was like, he was the only guy I really talked to was Coach Venables, and so he loves Coach V, loves Coach V. He's had a few things to say about Dabo, but
I don't know why Dabo don't want to go in the portal.
Listen, I understand what he's talking about, and I think that I guess it's kind of that. I don't know. You got your control group over here. It's science. You got the control group, so you got to find out. But I think, look, man, as well as I do, fan bases get tired of that crap. They don't care what you did 5, 6, 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. And if you're falling further behind and they see it, and they're seeing that Florida State can go from, and now Florida State's got problems too, by using the portal too much, probably. I think there's a balance you have to strike, right, Coach? You have to strike that balance. But if you're not doing it at all,
do you think that Ole Miss went into the portal and just got players, just to say they got players?
I think it's up to we're gonna find out. But I'm gonna tell you now, I think Oklahoma goes in and wins that game.
I think it's a lot of games that. Go ahead, Josh.
I think a lot of teams are just jumping in that portal now because of most of the other teams are getting better and surpassing them now. There's a lot of teams that wasn't even good here in these last couple of years, and then all of a sudden they jump in that portal. Now all of a sudden they're competing with these powerhouse teams now,
right?
Where they used to be cupcakes. So
there's a difference, right? There's Ole Miss is never going to be that school that's going to recruit high school with the best of them, right? You're not. Right. Ole Miss isn't going to be Georgia, Bama, Oklahoma, Texas, even none of those guys.
No.
So they kind of need to be in the portal a little more. I can understand that, but when you're Clemson and you've already been recruiting in the top 5, top 10, whatever, and you supplement, that's how you keep up. There's got to be a difference. And so, I know that he also wasn't really wanting to play the the pay game, the NIL game. Now I think they're kind of, it's from what it sounds like, Clemson's doing that part, right? I think they're doing that part. It may not be.
They
They
doing
ain't
the
got
NIL.
no choice but to do it. Otherwise,
It's
they're gonna be
time,
losing
man.
out
They
on
quit even
wild
messing
card.
around with it. Yeah, and well, that's the thing that bothers me the most is when these coaches don't get a kid like BK and they start blaming the kid to say, "Well, we're not here to buy players," stuff like that. Like, come on, man. Yes, you are. You buy at LSU, you're buying women's basketball players. Do not tell me you're not buying football players. Stop it.
And now you're buying softball players from OU going to
Right?
LSU. So
Yep.
trust me,
Yep.
they're
Yep.
buying players. He was
Yeah,
just
man. I don't want to hear
butthurt.
that crap either. This is what I'm just like, dude, quit making excuses. But the kids are the ones that get blamed for it.
Yeah.
They're talking about they're greedy. They're great. Who's greedy? Who's really greedy?
I think now they made it an even field now because a lot of this stuff was going on even when I was going to college. A lot of this stuff was going on before this stuff came about anyway. Just only the major programs had the money to be able to do it. Some got caught.
Man, I was a reporter for a long time before all
So-
that. I was covering Texas Tech, even and Texas Tech doesn't get all the greats, but I mean, they were when I was covering, you could tell what was going on.
Yeah, so now with the NIL, it just makes everything a lot more even, and then people can. A lot of teams can get players that they would normally not get.
True.
That usually the Alabamas and all them will always get because the other teams don't have the funds to get it.
Can I ask you this though? This is a theory of mine, and I want to know what you guys think about. I feel like in the NIL era, personal relationships though in recruiting are so much more important than they ever were, because a lot of guys are out there with money. So to me, I feel like if you're not, we talk about Oklahoma, man, they're so big on the soul mission and just building that relationship with their families of these kids and everything else. I mean, it's real like that, and they're very selective on who they're going after, even in the portal. So, and I think it's a great example. BV kind of, yes, he was over there with Dabo, and I think he kind of agreed and felt the same way about the portal at first.
Right.
But he knew that in order, look, Oklahoma ain't gonna stand for that shit for very long. You losing. Sorry, excuse my language, but they're not having it. So you better get in there and get the right guys.
Right. It takes the right kind of guys anyway for that, especially from BV. I know him a little bit. There's a connection and a family type deal that he wants automatically over. You might be one of the better players, but if you don't fit in with that family that he has there at OU, they're not going to take.
They don't even want you.
I mean,
he don't want you. You have to fit within what they're wanting, and that's the one thing I love about BV, man. They don't care about what star you are. If you're who they want, and I think that the defensive staff, man, has been a great judge of character when getting these guys that nobody wants. Some of these guys have been in the top 300 when Oklahoma recruits them, but then when it comes down to signing day, they're 5 stars or they're 4 stars, and everybody wants them. But Oklahoma has always saw that potential in them from the beginning.
Yeah, think about Dominic Williams. I mean, I think you can say whatever about how that kind of went, that recruitment or whatever. They had a personal relationship with him, and as soon as he came the first time before the official visit, whenever he was going there, then Texas, LSU, Missouri, and stuff. His mom told him the first time they ever went over there before the official visit, that either you're coming here or I am. She loved Oklahoma, period. That's all there was to it. And that's the one that the Texas guys are all saying, well, they overpaid and we weren't going to pay that much for them. Stop it. Damn good and well that they picked him up in a Lambo at the airport at Texas. Stop talking stupid stuff like we don't know what's happening. And then and LSU, same thing. They've been calling them. I mean, Mizzou been calling Oklahoma Broklahoma. So, they were out there with their bag of money too. It's not about, and it comes down to more important things than just that. I think that in the end, if you're not showing them that, look, we're going to pay you. And Oklahoma is absolutely out there paying what they have to pay in NIL. Don't get it twisted. They are. Do they have the same money as Texas? No. Do they have the same money as probably Oregon? Probably not. But they're not far behind. They're going to get the money that they need. In the end, he's selective, and I do think that he's more concerned about making those moves right there. But that's what I was just want to ask you guys what you thought about that, because I felt like it was it's a no-brainer to me. I think it has to be that.
I think not only that, he's looking for guys that are going to come in and stay longer than 1 year.
Right.
Because, in the portal, that you get offered something, yeah, I'll take it. Boom. You'll go there, and then next thing you know, the season's over, and they're in that portal again trying to go for the next one. So that's why the judge of character and that connection with not only them but their family is key. That I think that BV is doing real well with, because most of these guys he is getting are staying even after the season is over, and they're staying and not just leaving.
Yeah,
Well,
like DJ Terry. He's been there. This is his third year now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only does he get the players, recruit the players, he recruit parents.
Yeah.
He recruits the family, and it's a family aspect and everything, man. And Jason, like I told you, man, we dealt with this a while back. My thing is just that it's not about me no more. My girls, I want you to find what's best for you. Don't worry about what me and your mother think. What is best for you and the structure for you. So if a coach and everything is telling you everything that you like and it fits out and you love it, then you go for that. I don't want to hear about money. I don't want to hear about what the money was, because I could care less about that. Because if
Okay.
you're good enough, the money's going to come.
Sure. And I think that if you're playing defense for Coach Venables in his squad, you should be thinking about the NFL if they're
Oh
coming
yeah.
for it. I mean, it's like we were talking about with the O-line. They got Michael Fasusi, and everybody's making a huge deal about if they didn't get him, if they didn't. Now, I'm super glad that they did. I'm
We're fine.
for Big Bill than anything else, right? More for Big Bill than anything else, because he was getting just ridiculously treated over that. The dude got more money being made in the NFL than anybody in the country, and they're giving him a hard time about how many stars those kids got when they come in. Get out of here with that.
Jason, wasn't Trent Williams a 3-star when he first came out?
He was. So
And
was
now,
Orlando Brown. So was Creed. All 3 stars.
and he is perceived to be the best offensive lineman in the
Ever.
NFL.
Ever.
Yes, ever. And that's hard when you say ever. The best
Yeah,
ever.
man. I think there's some other left tackles that were pretty damn good. But
Man, I know some,
Anthony
you think back,
Munoz and guys
okay,
like that, and they talk about Trent first. He's still that dog. But
he's
to
still
me,
making max contracts at his
he's got,
age.
yeah, no doubt. He's makes more money than anybody. I think anybody for sure on the offensive line, and ever on the offensive line. So yeah, man. And Creed Humphrey just became the highest paid center in the league.
Yeah.
Orlando Brown is right there too. He's another left tackle. I mean, he's like right behind Trent. And those guys both played for Big Bill. So,
Yeah.
Trent didn't, but both those other guys did. And so that's where I was just like, man, I don't really care if Fasusi was to say no. Now, don't get me wrong. Michael Fasusi is that guy.
Oh yeah.
And but they also got Ryan Foji, same size, same build, same nasty streak in him. Watch out. The SEC is about to see that they took that trenches stuff to heart in Norman.
Well,
they did.
there's podcasts down here, man. I saw one today, R&R Raw, the Raw Room, where the guys are former NFL players that are talking about Texas and Oklahoma are in for a rude awakening when they come. And I'm like this. You can say Texas.
So y'all.
You can say
So
Texas.
y'all.
Hell, I think one's a former alumni for Georgia. One's a former a former D-back for LSU. I think another one somewhere else. Here's my thing on that. Everyone is still thinking it's Lincoln Riley that's coming to the SEC.
Right.
They don't know BV's third year. Everywhere he's went, it's been a top 10 defense. Everywhere he's went.
It'll be a fun season, isn't it, Coach Ricks? We got all kind of receipts to pull.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you, man. I got neighbors on my left, neighbors on my right. I mean, I got flags down this road of every player team you can think of. And when they coach, who you for? Oklahoma. Y'all a few years away. Okay.
I'm about to be living in SEC country, man. I'm moving to Alabama next week.
Yeah, man. Like I said again, man, congratulations, man, on that one, man. You're gonna be
Thank you, man. I appreciate
you guys gonna be balling down there, man. Like I said, I'm gonna be paying attention to that, man, because I think everybody is about to get an eye opener on what physical tough defense is. Because I really believe Oklahoma will have if not the best top 3 defense in the SEC,
Sure.
I think top 3 nationally.
Oh, I think it's going to be top 5, top 10 nationally at worst, and I think they're definitely top 2 or 3 in the SEC. I don't think that there's any way around it. You look at that defensive line. Well, Phil Steele had them at what, number 2 in the secondary, number 2 at linebacker, and like 20 or 21st on the D line. And I don't even think that they realize who all's there on that D line and how many are there.
They
and
did that line before they got dominated.
You know, you think about Texas, and they were talking about, yeah, they're good and elite. Last year on the D line, they were elite. But it was those 2 cats. We're talking 6 guys at the 2 interior spots. We're talking 6, 7 guys that they're going to rotate that are nasty. Every one of them, and including the freshmen. I mean, the freshman, one was probably going to start. You know,
oh, Jackson.
Yeah, Jaden Jackson.
Jaden Jackson.
Nasty. That dude's nasty. And then I think we talk about PJ, we talk about Ethan Downs, but man, there's probably 3 or 4 behind those cats that are right there, and then that you just don't even know who they are. Caden Woolard apparently is a monster.
R. Mason
Thomas, that's always been a health issue. We already knew that. If he could just stay healthy on the field.
He can stay healthy, man. He's going to be, man.
Hey, you're a D coordinator, coach. I mean, you know, you say, I mean, where it starts where? Up front. You got to get some pressure on that quarterback, man.
Need some dogs up front.
Yeah. So that has been lacking at Oklahoma for so long, since Gerald left. It's just not being that good.
But if you know BV, he now has the time to get the guys that he wants in those particular spots. Because I think it's going to go back to the way it looked like whenever he was there in those second and third years when he was at Clemson. You had those big, rangy DNs, those big,
tall,
nobody knew about them. Nobody knew who they were. Yeah, nobody knew who they were. They weren't 5-star guys. They were when they left.
Yeah. And top 20 draft picks at that.
Shoot. That's right.
So,
you go get paid over there with Coach Bates.
Quick question, guys. Quick question for both of you guys. Do you think that if BV would have had Perion Winfrey, you think he'd have been a top 15 draft pick?
They told him at the Senior Bowl that what the hell was he doing that he hadn't been taught the right technique.
I forgot that he did get the most valuable player for. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did.
I told him at the Senior Bowl, they're like, what the hell were they teaching you over there? He talked about it.
Look, man, I'll tell you this. If BV had some of the guys, at least 2 or 3 years with the guys that Lincoln had on defense before, they would have been a lot better than what they were. Lincoln is kind of reminds me of a couple of other coaches that I know. But it's offense. Don't worry too much about defense because we're going to score more points than the other team anyway.
Can't do that, man.
And that's a detriment to the team because a lot of people don't get a lot of exposure and they don't get better on defense. There's a lot of guys that I thought, dang, they got a really good kid over there.
Well, they get those guys every once in a while. They'd get somebody that, look, they're the ones that brought Billy Bowman, and and Billy's a dog. Same with Stutzman, dog, straight up.
But look at them compared to when they had.
Yeah, they're now coming into year 3 with Venables, and they're all Americans.
Yep.
I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close, man. We thought we lost you there, Coach. I was like, man, I can't even control the ship, so I don't know what we're doing.
No, man, I had to. The alarm was going off, man, and I don't like putting me in the podcast, so it's my bad.
No, but I think he's right. Coach is right. You really, if you can think about some of these guys, like this is how many more guys would be like Stutzman and Ethan and Billy Bowman if they'd have had that third year. You know, having that time. I mean, they're blessed to have had these guys come in, and we're talking not just BV. You know, every one of these positions, Jay Valai and Brandon Hall, and now they got Zach Alley in there in the linebacker room, but all these guys that are coaches on this defensive side of the ball, Todd Bates was one of the best coaches, period. Oh, yeah. And people, man, until he finally got his 5-star last year in Stoney, which may not even be the best guy in that thing, and he got a bunch of blue chippers anyways on that D line. But man, I'm telling you, this guy has never had, up until he got to Oklahoma, and the guys he coached like once or 1 year or whatever, they might have broken the streak. Not one place that he's been that he didn't have a guy make all conference at least one time.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, he played at Alabama.
Yeah.
He played in the NFL. This dude is a dog, and won recruit of the year at Clemson that year when they had the 3 guys in the top, 12 or whatever it was in the draft?
In the top 12.
Oof, nasty.
It's going to be.
God, that Lincoln Riley is in California.
Man, I still think back to that Rose Bowl game, man, and it just bites me every time I watch that game, man. It is a clip that always comes up every so often. That is the one game, man, that I really believe that if Oklahoma would have got past Georgia,
they'd have won it.
They'd have won it.
Yeah.
They'd have won.
I mean, and like I said, we can sit here and say would
They
have,
weren't tiny at that point. That was before Schmitty left.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to you. I said, "Did you just say yoga?" I was like, "Seriously, coach?"
Well, that was for middle school. That was for middle school.
You knew I was just messing with you. That's a trigger word for me, man.
Well, you know how I feel about Beanie Wiley's P90X machine and everything, man.
Right, for sure. But that's how I was like. To me, I was in the Rose Bowl that night. You could see that Oklahoma was every bit as big as Georgia, and strong. Because Smitty was still there, and it was the first year after Stoops had left, so he hadn't had time to make them into babies.
Yeah,
and they still were terrible on defense, but I mean, and of course that was Mike Stoops, but still, a lot of it had to do with the fact that, just like Coach was saying, complimentary football, you don't care enough about it. But as soon as he let his foot off the gas and Sony Michel and Chubb got going,
done and over with.
Man, that was a tough day. Tough day, man.
That was a real tough day. Well, Jason, I got 2 more picks, man. I want you guys to help me out on, man, because like I said, I'm we do this little poll at work, and we throw a little chunk of change in there and see who gets the best pick. What do you think about Miami and Florida?
Give me the Gators. Give me the Gators. I don't trust Mario Cristobal.
That's what I got. That's what I got. The Gators.
Better talent. You're in the swamp though, and Billy's in trouble. Give me the Gators.
I think everybody's underestimating Florida.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm gonna take the Gators on that too because it's in the swamp.
Tough place to win, right? I mean, it's one thing. Yeah. Even if you're, I think talent-wise, they're probably not as good as Miami, but we've seen what they do coaching-wise. Forget the not taking a knee stuff. There's a lot of little things that they haven't done right, and he's kind of running through quarterbacks. I don't know that Cam is really. I like Cam Ward a ton. Is it going to matter?
I don't think so. We saw what happened with DJ, and he was supposed to be a seasoned quarterback. So don't know about that. And then of course Penn State and West Virginia.
Penn State.
Oh yeah, that's Penn State, man. I mean,
not even.
It's tough to play in Morgantown.
It's in Morgantown, and you know how they like to burn couches and stuff in there.
3 touchdowns, man. They're gonna beat them by 3 touchdowns. I think. I don't love even Green as much as a lot of people do. I think their younger kid is better, and they just aren't playing him yet.
So Green, the quarterback for West Virginia.
Yeah.
He played last year. He balled out against Oklahoma last year.
Not against Oklahoma. He looked terrible against Oklahoma. Terrible.
I could have swore he's played
every game they played against somebody with a winning record. They weren't that good. They were closer in the Penn State game than I think they probably should have been. They got overlooked. They won't get overlooked as much this year.
Penn State should have them out last year.
They should have. I think that they're better than people give them credit for too. But I just don't. Yeah, I don't think they're there.
If for some miraculous reason West Virginia does win, is Franklin in trouble?
I think he should be in trouble anyway. But yeah.
Because he can't get it. He can't get it done. He's been.
You can't lose to a Big 12 team if you're him. No. It's bad. It's not going to go well. No, we're not even talking about the best Big 12 team.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Not even a team that's like ranked.
Yeah.
Get beat by them, and I think depending on how bad they get beat, he might not even make it past the end of the week. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Dude, he gonna get a Lane Kiffin.
whoa,
He
he
can't get on the bus.
You're gonna leave
Can't
him.
get on
They're
the
gonna
plane.
leave him out in Appalachia. He's in deep.
All right. What do you guys think about? Hate to say it, Okie State, and them allowing the players to put the QRC code on the back of the helmets.
Go ahead, coach. I'll wait.
I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I ain't thinking too much of it. I
You
mean,
don't think too much
I don't
of
really
it?
care about it either. Too
Uh,
much.
uh,
That one's kind of weird.
it's weird because it's weird to me because I ain't never heard anything like that before.
Do you think it's going to
It
take
is-
away from the team?
It shouldn't.
Now, is that every player, or is that the key players?
I don't
I
know,
think
like it's gonna be
probably
on everybody's helmet, but I don't know.
it had to be everybody's.
Yeah.
That's
I think
crazy.
it's similar. Like Coach Prime is putting their like social handles on their jerseys for practice or whatever, which I thought was actually kind of ingenious because it's helping them make their own NIL connections or whatever, you know.
Yeah, which
I thought that was okay. I think that was fine, and I also think this isn't terrible. What I don't. 2 days before he talked about that, he was talking about tell your agent we're calling this,
Yes,
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
that's the only part that I got a problem with is that
And I'm like-
he two-faced it.
Yeah, and look, man, you know how I feel about Mike Gundy, dude. That dude is mediocre at best, and everybody loves on him, and he is mediocre. I'm sorry, he is. He gags when it matters. Yeah, he loves it that they get their little 3 stars and overachieve. That is the perfect thing for him because he knows when it gets big game time that he is going to choke like a dog. Period. Every time.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous. I mean, how do you not go get a guy like GJ Kinney or Jeff Traylor? If you want to, and now when you have an opportunity to actually win, you're not going and getting these coaches that are actually going to go out there and recruit their asses off and get you guys that you really need. And it's just they're always looking for excuses. I'm gonna tell you what, they might lose week 1. They got a team on a 29-game win streak with back-to-back matches in the FCS. I think they're gonna get beat.
Didn't they lose to South Alabama a few years ago?
They did. Yeah, last year.
Trust me.
Last year by a
home.
bunch, 31-7. Got smoked.
Say what, Josh?
I said at home.
31-7.
I remember that
man.
game. Yeah.
Crushed.
If they lose that game,
good. They were 7-5, 7-6, something like that.
Well, Mike, Gundy's he'll always lose one game that he's not supposed to lose.
Bro.
If he loses this game, they might be calling because, dude, all this nonsense with him and Ollie Gordon about the DUI and stuff and everything, and then with the QRC code and all this, and then you lose to a team that you are a 30-something point favorite on.
But nobody even got on his ass about that, about the whole DUI talk at Big 12 Media Days.
Yeah.
They were loving him for that. Look, I'm not saying to kill Ollie Gordon over it. Nothing bad happened.
No.
But he basically went out there and endorsed it.
Yeah.
I did it 1,000 times.
I'm going to run him 50 times. That's his punishment. What?
Yeah.
I mean, you're sending the wrong message for sure. You guys were talking about coaching them hard and telling them what they need to be doing and making sure they're doing the right things. And he's endorsing getting behind the wheel drunk. You don't have to turn it into a murder, but you don't go out there and say it's okay for the rest of your team.
Yeah. Because you're pretty much telling your players that Ollie Gordon is bigger than the program.
That's basically what it ends down to. His best player got into some stuff. He's doing everything possible to make sure
he don't transfer out.
He doesn't get out of there, and he plays in this season and doesn't leave and is able to play. Because that's his key right there. That's their only very good.
Yeah, because their quarterback trash. Their quarterback is trash. So yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have Ollie Gordon. They're gonna have a losing season.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have that anyway.
Anyways, I don't.
But I'm saying, shit, it goes from 5 wins to 2 wins, if that.
Yeah, I think they're struggling either way. But I'm with you on that. I think that he absolutely he wanted no part of sitting him down for a quarter, a minute, whatever. Nothing. He did not want to sit him down because he knew it was because of Ollie Gordon that they were able to flip it around last year. And that and some help from officials and stuff like that in Bedlam. And there's a lot of stuff that went down. But yeah, without Ollie, you're in trouble because that defense, I think they like Brian Nardo a lot, but I don't know that they're going to be able to stop some of these teams. And they're definitely not as hard-nosed as a team like even K-State, but certainly not like Utah. Utah's coming in, but they are a miniature SEC program. That's the way they structured their football team. Is in the trenches, running the ball. Oh yeah, Cam's playing, and that's their opener in the Big 12. So get this, their first two, they've got the back-to-back FCS champions who are unbelievable. Then they've got Arkansas, both at home, but Arkansas Petrino liable to put
Arkansas gonna beat them.
There's going to be something there. Yeah, hey man, I don't doubt that at all. And then the third game, I don't remember who they're playing. The third game is pretty unnotable, so I'm pretty sure they're going to win that one. But then they go into Big 12 play, and it's Utah, K-State right off the bat. They're liable to go 1-4 to start.
Man. Wow.
2-3. They're not getting out of it unscathed. You know they're not.
Yeah. That their third game is Tulsa. They'll beat down Tulsa.
Yeah, they'll beat Tulsa. They should beat Tulsa.
Josh, that's your old team, right?
Yep.
You played at Tulsa? Yeah. I mean, and I like Coach. Coach Wilson's awesome, you know. But yeah, it's Tulsa, man. You're not going to get all the guys that you should get to be able to, and especially now that Coach Venables is back in Oklahoma, he's not letting the best players in Oklahoma go anywhere else.
Yeah.
See, that's when Oklahoma State became good, because Lincoln was not recruiting Oklahoma players. He was recruiting California, all over the place. And here's my main thing: you're letting the best talent go to Michigan and go to Ohio State and go to all these other places, but you can't even recruit your own backyard. I never understood that.
Still going on for him there in California too. That's why they're in trouble. SC's in trouble, man.
That's why they bought, you know, rumor has it that Pete Carroll is back on the staff to help advise.
He said he's a professor or something. I was like, well, a professor of football? You know, it was wild. But
professor of recruitment.
Yeah.
Carroll can recruit his butt off. That's for sure.
9 of the top 10 guys from California are going to either Bama or Oregon.
Well, the
and
reason why
Georgia recruiting, they're in Georgia recruiting, and their guys are getting out the state. You can't recruit Crenshaw High School and you're in Georgia.
Wow. Well, Pete Carroll was the only coach that would ever go into the inner cities and recruit.
Yeah, but even the other coaches knew. The other coaches knew to send their guys down there.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to USCJ a lot. Love USCJ, man. He hates it that I talk shit about USC so much, but he talks about he grew up down there. He grew up down there right near USC. His grandmother worked at USC, and he was like, I mean, some of the head coaches weren't necessarily down there, but believe me, the coaches were down there every game.
Wow. And
you had to be that guy to go to USC. Didn't matter if you lived right next door. You weren't going to play at USC if you weren't that dude. But they got everybody from California they wanted. The whole state was on lockdown. Now none of it is.
Yeah.
Everybody cherry picking now out of California.
Yeah. Offense or defense. I mean, it's one thing he's not getting the defensive guys. We just Oklahoma just got one of the top 26 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And he's in Lincoln's backyard.
Lincoln right next door. But
hilarious.
I think players are finally catching on with Lincoln and everything, man. And I'm gonna get on off here in a few minutes, man, because I know you got to go, Jason. I know Josh, you got to go, but I want to end this. Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
No, nothing. I was just saying, no, I agree. I think that he's soft. He's just soft. I mean, that's the whole thing about it. But I feel kind of the same way about Gundy. We were talking about Gundy a minute ago. And I think that when you refuse to play Oklahoma, it's not whether you win that game or not. And I understand it. He's only won 4 times out of 20. I get that. But you got to think that prepares you on another level. And not even just because Oklahoma's in the SEC, but now that you can look at that and say, okay, where you now have a measuring stick game if you
Yes.
stay with Bedlam,
Yes.
to where you know that you have to be sharpened up, very sharpened up to be able to win that game. And whether you have it at the end of the year or at the first of the year, it's going to benefit them as a program. I think that they fall further down the ladder by
Oh, yeah.
not playing this game, just competitively speaking.
Josh.
Yeah, I think so too. I was kind of bummed that they not doing it anymore. Because
That
there's a couple of games that you're used to seeing is OU, Oklahoma State. All the in-state schools always played each other. Even though Tulsa, when I was there, we wasn't that good against Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, but we always played each other. Them and we always played Arkansas too.
Probably
It
helps you
doesn't-
though, right? It probably helps
Yeah,
you when you got
yeah.
into conference play.
Yeah, yeah. You playing those bigger schools, I mean, it helps you for your conference, but I don't know. I just that further just let me know more about Oklahoma State is that they ain't about competition anymore. They taking it way more personal than what it should be. Because
A little
that
harder.
game should have been stayed just like the OU Texas game should be stayed in Dallas. So
Well, look at the money that they're losing. That game revenue so much for Oklahoma State, and it benefited them because, uh, Josh, Chris Massey and Gerard, they are diehard
Pope fan.
Oklahoma State fans, and Chris is an alumni from Oklahoma State, and his main thing was they look forward
It's
to
a
playing
tough cross to
Oklahoma.
bear, coach.
Hey man, Jason, when I tell you we have family members that have played for, I've
For-
got family members that played for Arkansas. I got some to play for Auburn, some to play for Texas. Some
And
that
I
play,
get that part. I mean, if you played for them and stuff like that, I mean, it should be how it is. But I mean, that's a tough cross to bear if you're just a fan that went there or whatever. And like, to me, I think that T Boone leaving the money that he left
yes,
has allowed them to say, yeah, we don't have to play this for a while.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, he lied about the whole we're booked up for the next 15 years of non-conference.
He's
You're lying through your damn teeth. Stop it.
if there's a game that you want, you have enough pull as a coach to go to your AD and say, "This is the game that we want to play." Now,
Lincoln just got out of games with Ole Miss.
and he's trying to get out of the game with
He was
Notre
trying to
Dame.
get that LSU game. He wanted out of it. Yeah.
Him and Coulter trying to saying that, yeah, we don't need to be playing them. You're just running from competition.
They're trying to get out of the Notre Dame game. I mean, he's really, really setting it up to get out of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
What?
I know
The
Coach
Big
is gonna
Ten
be
ain't that
crazy on
good,
that,
bro.
Jason.
Come on, man. Come
Coach
on.
will go crazy on that because that
Coach
is
nuts.
a pivotal game that has always been Notre Dame and USC.
100-year-old rivalry, and you're gonna
Yes.
throw it away because you got a weak sauce coach. Unbelievable.
Well, because you're scared of getting your butt
Scared to
whooped.
death on national
That's the thing,
television.
if he literally is valuing his own career on playoff appearances.
Yeah.
So, because you know damn good and well, if you don't play these tough games outside of the games in conference, I don't care if you get to the playoff. You ain't winning it. As we've seen at Oklahoma, they weren't winning it. Not with the way he did things. They were getting mopped up.
Yeah.
All but the one time. That one overtime game that they had. The rest of the time, they got blown the hell out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, man. I don't know why you would want to do anything else. If you're not battle tested, you don't need to be in there anyway. I knew the last time they were going to go up against LSU, I was like, I don't want them in the playoff here.
Well, we already knew that game. We knew we were going up against the best offensive juggernaut.
It's probably one of the best teams of all time. You know,
Yes.
I think it's one of the best single season football teams of all time ever.
People talk about the
Defensively,
2000 Miami. I think that LSU
right there with them
would, and I won't say spank. That'd have been a damn good game.
Oh yeah, I don't know that they beat 2000 Miami. I don't know that anybody does. They got dudes that were starting on that team that were Hall of Famers, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's why I had to rephrase it. It. I don't think it'll be. I think that'll be a damn good game.
Something we're going to look at 20 years from now, and we'll be able to talk about that a little better. But I know that, I'm with you. I think that they're definitely one of the best teams I've ever seen, ever. top to bottom, offense and defense. They were nasty, but
I knew we wasn't ready for that game.
it wasn't really even about that so much. Remember, and Oregon should have been in that one, and Mario Cristobal gagged that one up after winning at Ohio State. They choked at Arizona.
Yep, of all places.
Yeah, come on, man. If it hadn't been for that, Oklahoma's not in. And I know as a fan that year, I'd watched them at Baylor, and when they came back, from 28-7. But look, as much as I like Jalen Hurts, he's not that dude. He wasn't. And Lincoln put him in some positions to where they could come back, but Baylor weren't that. They weren't that good. They were okay, but they weren't that good. But you could tell that there was too many holes there. I was like, nah, we don't want to see this. I don't want to see it again. I'm tired of looking at it. I don't want to see it again.
And the OU fan in us was like, oh, yeah, bring them on.
Not this one. Not this one.
I was like, nah, I already knew the leaks and holes.
Let that one go. Let it go. As
Hey,
much
guys,
as
man.
Jalen Hurts, man. But yeah.
I appreciate you guys jumping in, man. I've got to get ready to get off here, man. The grandbaby's over here again, and I want to get Coach Walker, man, back to his little one and everything, man. But Jason, man, I appreciate you jumping in, man. Like always, man. Thank you for the support,
having me,
man. Hey,
I
man.
appreciate you guys having me on. I was really just sitting here and enjoying the conversation, to be honest with you guys. Good stuff from both of you. And Coach Walker, it's good to meet you, man. And hope to see you more later on down the line. But yeah, you guys, thanks for having me on, and good luck this season too.
Appreciate it, man.
All right,
well, you guys take care, man. And hey, everybody, thanks for jumping in, man. And like I said, we'll try to get this out. Oh yeah, we're gonna throw the horns down always and everything. That's one thing that we are going to do all 3 ways. You guys, man, have a good one, man. Stay blessed, man. And Coach Rick's out, man. We check you guys later, man.
All right.
All right.